Welcome to Meet JMT, Insights from Within, a series that introduces our industry professionals and provides them the opportunity to share their professional experiences, personal reflections, and sources of inspiration as individuals working in the architecture, engineering, and construction sectors.
Hi everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Meet JMT podcast. My name is Lindsay Douglas, and I'm a water resources design engineer out of our Allentown, Pennsylvania office. I'm also the leader of JMT's Sustainability Committee. I am joined today with a few members of our Sustainability Committee, Hannah Claffey and Mike Kenawell. I'm going to give everyone the chance to introduce themselves, starting with Hannah.
Hi, my name is Hannah Claffey. I've been with JMT about 7 months now. I'm a water resource engineer in the Hunt Valley office. And I've been a part of the Sustainability Committee for about the same time I've been here.
I'm Mike Kenawell. I am the section head of the York Natural and Cultural Resources Group and been with JMT almost 18 years.
Thank you both for those introductions. Today, the topic of this episode is on sustainability. And since we're with the Sustainability Committee, I thought it would be good to discuss how long we've been involved with the committee and what made us want to join the committee and what made us want to lead a more sustainable lifestyle. So I can kick this off. So I've been involved with the Sustainability Committee for about 3 years now. I started getting involved in 2021. And then at the end of 2021, I took over as the leader of the Sustainability Committee almost 3 years now. And I wanted to join the committee just because I've had a passion for sustainability. Basically, since high school, my senior project was raising money for a nonprofit organization called Protect Our Winters, which focuses on climate change awareness. So ever since then, and then up into college when I began my schooling to become an environmental engineer, I've always just had a passion for sustainability and sought out classes where sustainability was the topic and learning ways to be more sustainable. So Hannah, if you would like to share your experience with the committee and why you wanted to join?
Yeah, so I'm a very new member. I've only been with the committee for a couple of months, but I love sustainability in general. I went to college to become an environmental and water resource engineer, and it ended up being more water resource focused, but I try to implement sustainability in my everyday life. I'm really looking forward to seeing what the committee can do and become and, hopefully add to it.
Yeah, Lindsay, I decided to get involved with the Sustainability Committee, I think based on my experience and strengths in environmental science and the work on focusing on conservation and preservation of natural resources, kind of where I grew up in that area of the field, and thought there'd be opportunities here to kind of showcase some of that with the work we do both internally in our offices and externally, hopefully, with our clients focused on conservation and sustainability.
Thank you both for sharing that. So now we're going to talk about the history of the Sustainability Committee at JMT. And since this started in 2009, before I was at JMT, Mike, if you can walk us through how it started and the different evolutions of the committee.
Sure, Lindsay. The Sustainability Committee started off as the Sustainable Operations Subcommittee back in 2009. I think there were a group of like-minded individuals that were doing some sustainable operations throughout various offices in JMT's footprint at that time. And there was an opportunity to get together and discuss some of the things that we were doing in that, whether it was offices that didn't have recycling programs started, some that were just getting online, looking for ways to reduce our waste in our offices through reusable products. So there was a group that was started at that point, and we started gathering more and more individuals as more offices came on board and looked at opportunities to try to share our information across that. We did that for about 12 years as a subcommittee, and then in 2021, 2022 is when it actually switched over to the Sustainability Committee and has kind of grown from just focused on operations to both operations and what we can do to support our engineering and environmental practices, as well as ways we can support our clients. So that kind of gets us to where we are today.
Now, I think it would be important to illustrate why sustainability is important in our company and how it could attract potential future employees. And I think, Hannah, you would have a great perspective of this, given that you're a newer hire at JMT and you emulate the younger generation and why sustainability is important to people like you. So if you can give us your perspective.
With my generation, it's probably a bit different since we grew up with so much news media in regards to climate change in general. So we've kind of known about it for a longer time, and it's a forefront issue in politics and pretty much everything in daily life. Last year, I participated in a group where you followed an ASHRAE course. And with the New Buildings Institute, we went to the Getting to Zero conference, where we learned a lot about new ways to implement HVAC systems, daylighting, just how to sustainably build for the future so we use less energy in general, and it would save money. And companies like JMT that have bigger budgets could front the money and then save in the long term versus smaller companies. And I learned a lot from that in general. But from my generation, I think we just have such a deep passion because we have seen the effects. And even in my lifetime, the seasons have been changing. There is just so much that's different from when I was a child. So maybe the personal impact is why my generation really cares.
Thanks, Hannah. Those are really great points. I know me personally, I've attended some career fairs over the past couple of years, and I've actually had students approach me and they've asked me about what JMT is doing in terms of sustainability. So I could definitely see how this is a topic that is important to future employees and why that's something that we should be focusing on as a company. So I think now would be a great time to discuss the current status of the Sustainability Committee and what we have been doing. Over the past year, we have grown from 6 to 11 committee members, and these members represent offices including Pennsylvania, Texas, Colorado, New York, Maryland, and Delaware. We've started working more closely with corporate communications on getting information out about sustainability and what our committee is doing, and we've also been collaborating with the volunteer subcommittee on planning events. For Earth Day, for example, we've been working with the volunteer subcommittee to get employees in the same offices on the same page with planning their events and just making sure that there's no overlap in the events and everyone is aware of who is doing what. And we've also been using corporate communications to get the word out about our Earth Day plans and that we want offices to participate in some type of event for Earth Day. So the Sustainability Committee has been focusing on getting more information out to JMT employees on not only our committee, but the importance of sustainability. And one of our goals for the future is that hopefully we would be able to eventually develop some type of sustainability policy or report for JMT. Since Earth Day is coming up, one of our plans for right now is working with all of our offices to try and get everybody to plan something for Earth Day. Our goal is to have 20 offices plan some type of event for Earth Day, whether it's a local cleanup or a fundraiser of some sort. So I think now would be a good time to share what we all are doing. Mike, if you'd like to start first.
Sure, Lindsay. We have been part of an Adopt a Highway cleanup since 2006 in the York office. So we are going to be getting a group together to get out and clean up that portion of the highway. We always like to kick it off with a free breakfast for those who attend. So everyone's starting off on the right foot, then go out and spend a little bit of time making the highway look a little bit nicer this time of year. Also, we plan on starting up a program to capture additional plastic waste within the office that we can then deposit down at a local facility in York that changes those and puts them into building block materials. So a great way to be sustainable and show some positive reuse that is put forth in our community. So that's what we have planned for this year.
That all sounds great, Mike. And then Hannah, what's the Hunt Valley office planning on doing for Earth Day?
Yeah, so since you are the headquarters, I'm happy we're doing a lot. We're doing an Adopt the Road cleanup during lunch, a tree planting on a Saturday, which I'm really excited about, battery recycling, electronics recycling, and eyeglass recycling, which is very nice because it's very flexible for those that can't really participate and donate their time, but they can still help in some way, which I think is the biggest message I want to get across is like, you don't have to do everything to do something.
Yeah, that's very true, Hannah. And that all sounds great. I'm glad to hear that the Hunt Valley office has different options on what people can do to celebrate Earth Day. And then here in the Allentown, Pennsylvania office, we are going to be holding our annual Earth Day cleanup. It's just at a local bus station close to the office. So we're just going to go out at lunchtime and clean up some trash in the area of the bus station. And then afterwards, we're going to celebrate with buying pizza for everyone that participates. So I think a great way to end this podcast would be for all of us to share some advice or tips leading a more sustainable lifestyle. So Hannah, if you'd like to start this off and share what tips you think might be good.
My biggest tip in general is just eating like one less meat-based meal a week. It helps a ton. 45% of our land goes to raising cattle, and we can't really consume as much water as they're consuming. So it takes so much water just to raise beef in order for us to get it, versus plant-based food, which only takes up about 5% of the land. And then another tip would be to shop locally. It helps support local economies. Seasonal produce is always better for the environment. If it's not flown somewhere, it can save a lot on carbon footprint. It's also better for you to eat seasonally. In general, it's more sustainable if you can shop at a farmer's market or just eat the produce that's in season. Going to thrift stores, we have so much in circulation already. We don't need to buy everything new, just buy what's already there. And unplugging your devices, there's so much more, but small changes really mean a lot.
Very true, Hannah, and those are all great tips. And Mike, what do you have?
I think I've looked at opportunities to take some of these practices back to my home, ways to be more sustainable and more eco-friendly around the house. One of those ways has been for me to install a rain barrel, which captures rainwater and limits water use. Also taking leftover food waste and composting. Those can be then used in your gardens and in your landscaping. And I've tried to focus on ways of planting native plants in the landscape. They both perform best in the areas that you're grown in and require less water and tend to be better and support the pollinator species in those areas. So just a few ideas that maybe folks can look to do in and around their homes.
Thanks, Mike. Those are great pieces of advice. As for me, I think easiest changes that I've made to lead a more sustainable lifestyle would just be making swaps for single-use items for reusables that I would use every day. So for grocery bags, straws, coffee cups, water bottles, stuff like that. Once I started implementing reusable items, I found that I was creating much less plastic waste and ultimately minimizing my carbon footprint. And these were all just things that once I purchased them, I don't need to buy them again really until they would break. I just keep it for years, and it's just minimizing the trash that I'm producing, so it's a win-win for me. And it's something as easy as just making some swaps to those items that I use on a daily basis. And I think something else that's really important to emphasize is that none of us are perfect, and all of this is trial and error to see what works best for you in your personal life and also what works best for your office if you're trying to make more sustainable changes there as well. So I know for me personally, I'm not perfect, so I've used a disposable straw on occasion, or if I forget my reusable grocery bag, I'll have to use a disposable one. Focus on being consistent over being perfect. Like they say, it takes about 21 days to build a habit, so as long as you're consistent about making these changes, over time it'll become a habit, and then you won't even be thinking about it once you incorporate these changes into your day-to-day life. Thank you both for joining me today so we could discuss sustainability and our Sustainability Committee to celebrate Earth Day. And I just want to let everyone know that there is a sustainability intranet page for anyone that is interested in learning more information on the Sustainability Committee, and also to get the points of contact in their office if there's anyone in their office that's involved in the committee, or if they would also like to get involved in the committee. And don't forget to plan something for Earth Day.
Thank you. Happy Earth Day.
Thank you both. Happy Earth Day to everybody.
Thank you for tuning in, and we hope you enjoyed the Meet JMT podcast today. Remember to subscribe, post a review, and of course, encourage your friends and colleagues to do the same.